So I think a bit of a challenge there for some local authorities to step up. So that moves me very neatly on to inviting Sally to speak. We're very lucky to have Sally with us today. And by the way, not only is she a Nottingham councillor, she's also the councillor for this specific ward that we're sitting in now. So if anyone's seen any potholes or broken paving slabs or, you know, street lights that aren't working, Sally's very happy to do some casework. That's not why she's here, however, of course. So you'll have to email her separately. Over to you, Sally, to tell us more about what Nottingham is doing.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk mainly about what we're doing related to the nitrogen dioxide problem at the moment, which is what we've been tasked with doing by central government. In 2015, they predicted that we would be we wouldn't be able to achieve compliance until 2025 until we took some action, and we, along with the 4 other cities, Birmingham, Leeds, Derby and Southampton, were told to start looking at clean air zones, and in May they produced their latest plan, and there are various concerns for us that the charge, they're intending us to develop a charging scheme, and that will fall disproportionately on the relatively poor residents of the city rather than the relatively rich residents who of the commuter zone, who will find it easier to switch modes and transport. We also have already a workplace parking levy, which some of you might know about, which charges commuters for parking spaces at the workplace, and clearly that is already a charge on car commuters, so introducing a further charge on cars would be problematic in various ways. There's also no assistance with a scrappage scheme or changes to vehicle excise duty, which would be really useful in the circumstances. What we need is national leadership, as has been said earlier. So our problem is primarily in 2 parts. The nationally identified areas are around the ring road. They're the ones that DEFRA are keen for us to deal with, the purple shading, and the ones that we've identified locally mainly around the city centre in red. And at the moment we're modelling. We're using the data for current transport and projections for transport levels in the future, other pollution data, and the other polluting and other pollution data to model various options for our clean air zone, which would be around the city centre or within the ring road or the whole of the city. And depending on that modelling, we will then develop the boundary, which we will have to put to government. The charging options, when they first identified that we needed to take some action, they suggested that we would need to introduce a category B charging zone, which means that we would have to charge buses, taxis and HGVs for entering the zone. There are other different categories of charge zone, depending on the seriousness of the pollution problem. So we're hoping that they will be the vehicles that we have to charge and no more. And we're in the process, as I say, of conducting that analysis in order to put forward the plans that we've got to develop. So, and there's a very tight timescale for this as far as we're concerned. We've got to submit our outline business case to DEFRA in February this month. Then we start public consultation the spring and summer, and we have to finalise our scheme between March and August and then submit the full business case by September. There's a ministerial direction. After DEFRA have made the decision about whether this is appropriate, then we'll have to finalise the design and procurement of the clean air zone in the first part of 2019, and then we'll have to install all the equipment and get it operational in the next few months, and it has to be up and running really in December, because we have to have it operating by the 1st of January 2020. So this is part, though, of our greater work in this area. We've been active in trying to exercise our people in getting into different sorts of modes of transport for a long time. And key to this has been the workplace parking levy, which has allowed us to invest an unprecedented amount in public transport developments over the years. So without the workplace parking levy, we wouldn't have a tram. It's helped us improve the railway station and to help provide for our large fleet of electric buses, which operate the park and ride sites and our local link services to neighbourhoods. So all that has come out of the £750 million investment that we've had via the workplace parking levy. More recently, sorry, I'm going backwards, wait a minute. More recently, we've had some funding from government. We've been recognised as a Go Ultra Low City, and we've had £6.1 million worth of funding to try and persuade people to switch to ultra low emissions vehicles. We're developing a public charge point network across the D2N2 area with 230 charge points in public spaces, and then we've got a business support package where we can give grants to businesses and public sector employers to make the switch. We're working with Nottinghamshire Fire Service at the moment to help them. We are developing the first shared bus lane and ultra low emission vehicles commuter route to the east of the city on Daleside Road. We've got lots of ways of promoting different promotional activities to try and help people switch. We've got a group of champions who sell the idea of having an electric vehicle to other people. We have events where employers and other people can try out electric vehicles. Okay. We also have some money for conversion of taxis. We're hoping to, we're introducing a dedicated charge point for electric taxis, and we're hoping to pilot an electric taxi leasing scheme. We've also made amendments to the licensing strategy, and we have invested a lot in electric and gas buses. So we've got a large electric bus fleet, as I said, with charging points at the park and ride. We've got our own bus company, NCT, Nottingham City Transport, which has 53 biogas double-decker buses and a huge refuelling station at the Parliament Street depot. And we've got funding to retrofit diesel Euro 5 buses to Euro 6. We've also got a cycling ambition programme, £6.1 million of investment. I'm being hurried along here, by the way. We're aiming to have 4...
On the assumption that people may have questions that they want to put, especially to you, I think, actually.
And we need the government to step up and support us a great deal in what we need to do, and not just in the short term, but in the long term. We don't just need infrastructure funding, we need money to help this switch take place over a period of time. And we need the powers to help us do things locally, like get integrated ticketing services and moving traffic regulations. Okay.
Thank you very much.